Hey everybody, welcome back. Finally, episode 13 on the TOS Enterprise Bridge. Two big things today. Well, not big, but need to be done. I've got the helm and tactical and operations lighted and put together for now, as you could see from the intro. And then I worked on the two panels by the main viewer and started building light boxes for things. And then I run through this video doing the painting, my craziness of doing that, and then going and trimming and showing how to get those fiber optics and everything to play, and then drilling holes into the floors and stuff. So I don't want to take away from the video, but that's what I worked on today, and I'm very happy. It's very nice to get back to the bridge. Man, I've been jonesing to do it, and now it's done. So if you guys are new to my channel, please click on the subscribe button, click on the bell, and every time I upload, you will be notified. Also, if I've done something in previous builds, or if I'm doing something in a build video, or previous build videos, and I didn't go into it enough, and if you have questions, or how did you do this, why did you do this, hey, could you more explain this, or if you have questions about your own builds and just need to bounce some ideas off, please. You can either put it in the comment sections or email me at bucktimore@gmail.com. Also, I love getting those, hey Buck, good job, great job. Okay, okay Buck, okay, it works for you, great. And then, oh, what the heck were you thinking, Buck? Put those in the comment section, not sections, and I respond within 12 to 24 hours. But without further ado, let's get to the bridge. Well, good morning and back on the bench, and guess what? Yes, that's right. The bridge is back on the bench table and gonna get more done, and it's been so long, so guys, so I do apologize. But just to rehash, I worked on these consoles quite a bit the last time, but the last video that I uploaded last week is I wanted to start working on getting these fixed, and I'm getting there. I'm starting to think about it. Also, I plan on mounting the turbo lift today and start working on the helm and ops stations, and maybe start getting some paint on the captain's chair. We'll see. But first, excuse me, sorry, I'm gonna go and get things moved around, and then I will come back and I will start sharing with you how I plan on doing this. So be right back. Alright, let's kind of do some things here. So I got a good recommendation, good tip from a fellow subscriber of cutting out the decals and then just placing them on here, so I don't have to try to work so much with the paint, or that. But I do thank you. But I'm going to use your idea, but I'm going to take it a different little bit away, because everything on this kit except for the view screens and except for the the film that goes behind to show those, sorry, everything else on this kit is painted. So I went and dug through my mask to get this back out, and there's a reason I'm going to do that. I've checked the photos, and I'll double check again, but a lot of these have a white black outline over certain stations. So what I want to do is I'm cutting these guys, I'm cutting to the black line right now, as you can tell. Let me move some things around, and I'm using my X-Acto brand new blade and my good straight edge ruler, and see, it's trying to move on me. So you know what, give me just a second and I'll be right back. Okay, I've turned the exposure down because I'm using this hard marble that I got a very long time ago, and I am looking for, I found it the other day, I'm just going to remember where I put it. Okay, well, darn it, alright, whatever. I was looking for another good straight edge. So what I was trying to show you before is I am taking and trimming just outside that black line. Okay, I found another ruler, help lay it a little bit more flat, and excuse me, sorry. I am taking, like I said, my X-Acto knife, and I'm cutting just outside the black mark. And as you can see, sometimes this, no matter how tight it can be, sometimes it just gets a little funky because I'm trying to do a very delicate cut just so I can save most of that decal. As you see, there's just a little bit of there, but once I get it all the way cut out, let me do that again. Well, I'll do the bigger one, and I'll kind of show you what I'm doing, and then I'll get doing it. That way you guys can see it. So again, I just have it right on that black, just right before that black mark. Take my X-Acto, keep a decent amount of pressure down, because sometimes cutting through decals is a pain in the behind. As you can see, it is almost there. But doing the work with these little guys like this, sometimes it can take a little, doing the detail work like this, sometimes can go a little bit, alright. I'll trim it up a little more. But, so what I'm going to do is, I'll lay that, it's laid down there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make and do that same thing here onto this piece. That way I can, once I go get the orange painted, I can mask over it, and the same with these other ones, that I can mask over it, and then I'll go do the little black highlight lines after. But let me get these all the way cleaned up, and then I'll come back and I will share with the idea. And this is not the only thing going to be happening today, guys, so stay tuned. Alright, sorry about the glare, guys. So what I did is I already cut one piece out, and I'm just making sure. So masked that on there. So what I did is I took these pieces and I laid the decal on top of the masking template and drew lines with my Sharpie, my very fine pointed Sharpie, to help give me a gist of the shape, or give me a good draw on the line. And I'm going to try to show you guys. So I've laid the mask out on my board here, my very nice hard rock, I guess you could say. And I'm using my good metal straight ruler, and then I pick it up, make sure it's all the way cut, like so. Then what I do is I match it up to the holes so I can paint it, and then I'll go around later and do that trim. But now I can match it up to those holes, and I'll be able to cover the paint there. And then yes, I'll be using a lot of the rest of the mask too, to help hide, like, I'm piecing it out basically. And once I got it all pieced out, then I will be able to pull pieces as I need to get the mask where I need to, because the biggest problem is cutting these pieces out are, you know, it's still, I got a lot of gray area I got to help protect, and this will help me do that. And the reason I like putting the decals on idea, the only problem is my grays are a lot different than what they made them out on the decal. So again, I put my straight edge and I make sure it's straight, and make sure I have nothing I'm going to cut through yet. I think I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom line first. Just keep it nice and straight, like that. And then I can remove this part of the mask. Set that there. I know it's hard to see the line. Trust me, I definitely know it's hard to see the line. I'm fighting with it too, and I'm lefty, so I have to keep moving this around a lot. But here we go. So make sure it's straight, and make sure I got the whole cut done, because I'm trying not to separate too much of the mask again, and so I have one whole big piece that's going to take care of all those colors that I need it to. And like I said, I'm making sure my ruler is straight, and I'll come and I will cut down and drop the ruler. See? So now I can pick this piece up, and guess I didn't get it cut all the way. Okay, maybe now. Okay. And no, what are you doing? Trying to find where you're stuck at. Okay. And dang that thing. Look at that. That thing is just okay, right there. Alright, come on now. Let's get you back over here so I can make that cut better. Okay. And put my finger down to make sure I'm holding it. Okay, there we go. Now, again, I line up to the holes. And there we go. So that's going to be the 3 colored areas of the mask that I'm going to do. And I'm going to go ahead and put these guys back down onto the mask sheet so I don't forget that I've already done this and I'm lose my mind. And there we go. So that's how I am going to be able to do the painting with these. I'm using the masks and then I'll do the painting. So let me get the other side finished up, and we'll see what kind of paint I'm going to start doing first. Probably do the oranges because that's the biggest one. Alright guys, I'll get right back at it and I'll come back when I have more to share. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and start with the orange. That's the most prominent. I have everything masked now, and if you're wondering why I decided to run the tape, is my cutting wasn't exactly the straightest, so I had to straighten up the line. And just to take care, I'm going to make sure I mask off some of the other area. Like right here at the bottom, I don't want that oranged, and this is good. So I've got my brush loaded. I'm using orange X6. I don't have a flat orange, but it's okay. And again, just like with all my painting, guys, just go easy. Don't try to get it all done in one big start. And it's the funny thing is how long it takes just to do the mask. You get everything cut out right, nice, and then it's like what, 3-4 minutes. I'll spend more time cleaning my airbrush than I actually will do painting. But hey, there we go. So after this gets dry, this color, I'll take it over. I'll put clear coat on it. Then I will bring the mask put back on these guys, and then again I'll just keep doing that because this one's green and this one's yellow. And then I got the black lines there, so I'm going to take care of that pretty easy. But again, like I said, just very easy. I am just putting the love there and making sure that I had everything masked. Well, that's alright, I can touch that up. That's easy to touch up. But it's a good point. Always make sure before you airbrush, guys, that you're getting everything masked that you wanted masked, because there's nothing trickier than like orange or red or whatever just getting in the way, and it's like, alright. Alright, and that's round 1 of repainting these and getting those on there. So I'm going to set this off to dry. I'm going to clean up, and we'll get started. I'll get started on something else. So I'll be right back. Alright, I've gotten the wire stripped already, and I'm working on the helm. Now what I wanted to show you is I've been playing with the fiber optics and all the mess that I did back there, and zoom out so I can keep everybody in. So it does fit okay-ish, and what I mean by that is because of the fiber optics, I'm going to have to do and use my clamps, and it does meet up. It just going to take a little bit more love, and I might go in there and see if I can't trim those just a bit more, just hollow this out. That's probably what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to sand that down. But first, I want to get this wired in so I can start testing the lighting. And so I'm using, you know, my LED strip tape, and I'm going to go in the middle this time, because where I've gotten everything at, I think the middle is going to work the best. So that's what I'm going to do. And again, going to get my solder iron tinned. It's been a few days since I've done any electrical work, but hey, today's the day. Okay, don't forget to tin it. Okay, so the first one I am going to do is going to be my positive. And oops, hold on guys, darn thing, it did not want to play nice. Okay, let's do it this way. I'm going to put you here, maybe. I'll put you right there. Darn thing. Alright, come on now. There we go. And hopefully get you turned enough that I can clip you right there, and then I can pull it tight. Because that's what happened, is I put the soldering iron on, and yeah, that wasn't a good idea, because it bent the and the heat. So let's see how we can do here. Okay, I'm just making sure that's there. And now the negative. Okay, sorry about that. Now, these guys are done. Take my two snippers here, and I'll cut off that excess. Just like so. Almost like so. No, I left some. Okay. Now, like I said, I've already trained and trimmed everything. Now, the next thing I need to do is test it before I put it down. Okay, so let's get the negative and the positive. Okay, everything looks good. So I'm going to leave you turned on, and I'm going to get my glue gun going on, but I'll take care of the gluing here in a minute, here after it warms up. But I thought we could at least get it all stuck down. And basically all I'm doing is just getting it folded over, and I'm going to twist it. Makes it easier to work with. And now I'm going to just feed it into the hole that I already did, and okay, there we go. Okay. Come on. There we go. Okay. Trying to get it all into position here. Sometimes it plays nice, sometimes it doesn't, but that's okay. Okay. Just got it down there for right now. But I do want to do this. See how everything's starting to look, and share with you guys. And oh, sorry about that. Yeah, check that out. Cool. We have light coming through. I have some fixes to do, but that's good. But that's definitely a good thing right there. So now comes the fun part of I'm going to take and I'm going to sand down this edge here. sorry, turning you off. I'm gonna just ever easily sand down this edge to make it a little bit thinner to give room for that. And it's a noisy, all the sanding, so once I got that done, I will try this again and share with you guys. So yay! And also I got to get here and clean off that screen because that needs to be lit up. And I think I'm going to just take my drill and cut it out. But first things first, let's I'm going to get this taken care of, glued down, and come back. We'll see how it looks. Okay, got it, sorry, pretty well trimmed down, but I went ahead and cut out this screen, and then I had to re-glue the photo etch. I thought I had it down good, and then I used my drill. So now that's going to get dry, and I'm going to keep playing with it, but before I can do any more on the top of this, I need to make one more big thing. But my glue gun's heated up, and I want to show you guys. I don't know if I've ever actually shown you when I go to glue these things in, that I have a thing that I like to do with them, just getting the wire twisted up makes it easier to work with again. Okay, so again, I will just put these guys in here. Maybe, you know, it's wire. Doesn't want to play nice sometimes. Okay, so again, I get it in there, get it lined up really good. And when I use my hot glue for this part, when I glue these down, even though it's got that sticky, there's something I always like to do. And I like to go wherever there's a contact point, like at the ends, or right here in the middle that I made a contact with. I always like to get those all glued and very well separated. By that I mean if something happens and there is a loose wire and it doesn't want to play nice, then I can, you know, then if I need to, I can go back in and retake care of it. But if I do ever have a broken wire, I always check my glue spots first if I have to. But this just keeps it else protected. I did quite a dang bit of sanding, and really, it's not too shabby, guys. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to stay on camera, but it's workable. But next, I'm waiting on that to dry, and then I got to add one more small LED right there that I'm going to be doing, and I'll show you that when it gets time, guys. But with that, I think I'm going to go grab some lunch, and when I get done with lunch, I'll do a clear coat on the panels because that's dry, and then I'll go do some more painting, then I'll get back here onto the helm in operation. So, alright guys, I'm heading to lunch. Y'all have a good one. I'll be back. Alright, well, got the clear coat on, and the only other painting on this one that I got to do is little bits of touch-up painting. You know the little black lines. So I thought, what the heck? Let's see how pretty this came out. All right, come on, there you go. And where's my gut there? So I'm gonna take the mask off. Again, I'm gonna be gentle even taking it off because sometimes they like to pull up paint, or God forbid I have to do it again and retouch up a paint or have to remask. So I try to keep them at least till I know I'm done and I'm happy with what I got going on, that I don't need them anymore. So I'm just going to put that back down here and tack it there, and then yeah, not shabby. Look at that. Doesn't look too bad. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now with this one, because I got two different areas that I got to paint, this is going to be green and this is going to be yellow. It's going to be fun. I haven't really decided how I'm going to do that yet, but I'm going to go ahead and, because I've already clear coated, I'm going to go ahead and get this guy back on. And now the fun part is deciding which way I'm going to go with that. Honestly, I'd just like to be able to do it both at the same time, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I might as well start with I'll just go ahead and do the yellow, and once that's done, then I can mask off pretty well that I don't put it down tight, and do the green. And I'm going to put that where I can find it. So yay! Before I really get onto that, I am still going to finish trying to get this on so I can get it clamped down and start going. What I forgot to show you is, yes, I did cut this out, like I said, but I wanted to show you, I used my my Dremel. I've got these, what they're called, micro drill bits. I love them. I have many of these. I love them. And basically what I did is I drilled a small series of holes, and then I changed the bit out for a bigger one that I could go in and just use the drill to try to get around as much as I can and not go in, and then I took my sander and finished evening it out. Now what I'm going to do next is I got the things I need to put in there for that screen, but I'm not going to do that yet. I want to try to get as much of this done before I do that. And then I have this little bitty red light, so when the ship goes to red alert, this is always red. It's not blinking, it's solid, and I'm going to put that there and tie it into the red light beacons that I have on these two panels and on the turbo lift. But now I got to try and make sure I get all this down and get ready to get that cinched up, and then I'll go back and start doing some more painting. But I think it's time, we got to get some things together. So give me a few minutes, and I'll be right back and I'll share that with you. Alright, well, got that main hole drilled back out. So remember I tell you the way I glue them down? Well, I knew I was going to do this, the red, but I went ahead and glued this down. So now I pulled it up a little bit so I can get back in there and do it. So what I am using is, this is a red, I think this is, 2 seconds here guys, I want to make sure I tell you the right one. I got a lot of these SM LEDs, I love them. And so this is the red 042 pre-wired, and I get these at Model Works, and love them because now I don't have to put a big, you know, LED bulb in. I can just put this in and go like that. So I'm going to turn my glue gun back on, and what I'm going to do is, first I need to get this run up through the hole, and just making sure I can get in there, because, you know, of course not, have to widen it out a little bit. It is a big enough hole, just sometimes trying to get things to work in again gets kind of, so now, okay, so I can see the LED. Let's see if I can get some more oomph. There we go. I can see it, and now I lost it, of course. What I'm trying to do is I want to run this, like I said, through that same area. And sometimes when you're playing with it, it sometimes doesn't always want to play nice. I mean, the easy thing, oh, why don't you just take all that tape off, Buck? Why don't you just take that whole strip down? Well, you know, I'd love to, but really? What would the fun be in that if I have to always move things? So, okay, come here. Sorry, guys. Having a little bit of an argument with this guy. Okay, there you are. Okay. So now I've got that run up, and I'll glue that back down as soon as I am happy with where this is going to be on, where I'm going to put it in. And sometimes you might have to actually pull up that glue a little bit so that LED, or this SM LED, will have room to move and play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to put it where I can get it face to me. Check and see how that's doing. Oh, get another glue just in case. Okay, might have to do that. All right, it's still heating up. So I sometimes I'll use CA to glue these guys down, but I really try not to, because I really don't want to. Because in the same way with when I do fiber optics, you guys notice that I didn't use CA. Sometimes I will use the clear glue, but the CA makes it brittle and crumbly. So I just want to make and I had to learn that the hard way. And come on now, bite. Okay, you starting to bite? Maybe. Give me a second, and let's see. Okay, it's starting to bite. Barely, but we'll see. So, a lot of time when I'm doing this with the these small LEDs, let me bring it up here real quick while that heats up some more. So, if you can see it, this is the LED, and you can see that this is the front, and that is the back. And trust me, I've done a lot that I thought I had them the right way, and actually had them going a different way. So I want to make sure when I get this down that I got this facing up, and that's why I want to have the slack, is so I can actually work with it more, and I'm not trying to fight it. So without further ado, I'm going to get you. I'm going to put it right. I'm trying to make sure. So I want to see both of those wires back. And sometimes I will do a very light twist just to help keep those two wires together for right now. Makes it a little bit easier. And that. So making sure. Got to twist it back around. And this is the funky part, guys. Trust me, it always does this to me. I'm always trying to... come on. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's do that. And... okay. Get my glue gun. And I don't put very much. I just make sure it's there. And then sometimes that's what happens. Sometimes you go down to glue it, and while you're trying to make sure it got glued, it started to set too fast. So gotta come here, do that yet again, make sure all this is open, and try it again. So like I said, sometimes this stuff it gets very nitpicky, and it's not that it's hard to work with, it just sometimes this stuff has a freaking mind of its own. And okay, so now it's there, and just keep my finger there until it cools enough for me to roll off. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn on my power supply and double check that everything is where it needs to be. And if you buy the pre-wired, these are pre-wired, and they're great, but a lot of times some of the things I have to do, I'll clip off the resistor, but sometimes it can just work great, and we'll see, maybe, if I can do this. Okay, now I can see that it's going that way. Now I want to see how bright it is coming up the path. Pretty good, I like that. Just do another check. Okay, and that's because these little bits are not very thick wire. So, yay! Alright, so now what's going to come to question is, I'm going to pull this guy down, get it back working up into there like I want it to. Pull all that slack out, and let me get all that done, and when I get back, let's see about putting this thing together. Alright, got some things cleaned up. Also wanted to show you, I did hot glue the line down a bit, so I brought it back from the very close edge of the console. And now I need to pull as much of the slack as I can out, because I'll be putting that on here in a bit, or here pretty darn quick. And sometimes when I know I'm going to have slack, what I'll do is drop tools around, is I'm going to get this re-glued, and then I will put a bit more of the slack here and do that, and then I'm going to just tack it down right there. What this is going to do is going to allow me that wiggle room, not liggle room, the wiggle room to make sure I have plenty of line to play with, and it's pretty, it's not bad. And then I just take my fingernail and push down on it, make sure that glue gets set. And now I'll go back and re-tack these guys. And there we go. So now I am going to very graciously pray to the modeling gods that there are and get all the spider webs cleaned up. But get this died down, and let's get it glued in. And see, I'm still messing with just that little bit. Now I can live with that. If I can't, I'll try to push it down as much as I can, but I can putty that end bit, so I'm okay with that. So again, I'm just making sure I've got all the little cobwebs out of the way, because sometimes these guys really like to give a lot of fits when putting parts together. And I'm going to make sure I have my clamps. I like these better than my spring ones. Yes, I love my spring-loaded ones, but sometimes you just need a little bit less. I don't know. I don't know. I can have more control with these guys. I can have control with the other guys, but I'm just rambling now. Sorry. All right. So now I'm going to try to keep it as much in the middle or above as I can, because I don't want to make sure I don't get any CA on that line. I'm just putting down a dollop of CA now. And if I think I got too much, I will make sure to and I get that off. But for now, all I want to do is get it pushed down on there. I'm going to meet the back end up, because I want to make sure that's going where I want it, and then I'll start working on the front. Now, again, like I said, that's why I like using these guys, because it gives me, I can do the whole piece instead of just the little ones. So, okay, got him clamped down. Now I need to clamp this side down, and I'll have to do it from here because I don't want to mess anything up on the back. And now I will grab one of my very little ones that I can. Have I got another one? Maybe not. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go this side, and now have it sealed on. So now that's where this is going to stay until that gets dry. So yay! All right, we have a console on. We have painting going on. So now I'm going to have to figure what I'm going to do here. So let me get things cleaned up, guys, and I will return. Okay, I'm going to do the green first, and I had to use my magnifiers. This is a piece I'm talking about, and I was trying to figure out, okay, well maybe it's cockpit green, and just nothing was looking right, so I finally figured it out. I'm going to use XF65. This is field gray, and I used that on my World War II German infantry troops, and I think it's going to do really good. And I'm not going to go crazy. As you can see, I've already masked off. I'm going to try to be as light as I can, just not to take away. I might do one more little pass and call it good. But I wanted to show you that. And then, yes, once this dries, I'll mask it off enough that I can come and paint the yellow. And while these things are drying, after cleaning the airbrush, I need to start doing some light boxing onto these guys. So, I can take care of that. So, alright guys, I'm going to get back at it. When I get back to other parts, I will return, I promise. Okay, that is over there drying, and what I'm doing now is I'm going to start making light boxes for these guys. And I am going to make one for this, but right now I'm not going to worry about it too hard because I still got to glue that back on and then run the fiber optics. But what I'm doing is I'm going to do the red alert areas. And I've already pre-measured, I roughly measured and cut out some pieces. And now I know you look at it, that's way too big. So what I'm doing, I have already got it, I've got it set in flat, and I've made a rough idea where I want that cut to be, how far up I want it to be, and you can see by that black mark there. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to make sure my ruler's straight, and I'm going to take and just do a line like that. And now, which is pretty much basically in half if you think about it. But now I'm just gonna cut it, as you can tell, and then I'm gonna bring it back here and see how it works. Now this I'm gonna have to have my tweezers for so I can actually see. So, and that's gonna work great, as you can see that, guys. That's gonna work out really good. So now comes the fun part of, okay, so I know I'm going to want the top of the box lined up there. So what I'll do is I'll do a slight tick, just so I know where I want that edge to be, maybe. Okay. And then I'll hold it up, and I can kind of see roughly, again, where I kind of want to do my mark, so I can cut this down. And I'm going to go right there. Okay, so what that's going to help me do now is I can get it even more fit, and then once I get it all pretty well fit, then I can come in and do start gluing them together and getting them put. So once I get the shapes, the rough shapes and ideal shapes that I want, then I can go down and just start doing a cookie cutter. And as you can see, guys, there we go. So now the only other one that I have to do, I have to try to figure out, is the bend. And sometimes what will help me do that is I will hold up the piece just like I just did, where I can see it. I'll hold that piece up, and then I'll look across and try to go from there. And from what it's looking like, it's going to probably be right there. So, and I won't know that until I actually cut the other pieces and get going. But I'm just going to go ahead and cut one out, like so. Have that sitting on the side. So now what I'm going to do, guys, I'm not going to make you watch me do all the cuts, but I'll get everything cut up, and then I'll put them together for you guys. So give me just a few minutes and I will be back. Okay, got everything cut out now. I'm gonna get started. So again, I'm gonna use my CA, and I'm gonna be light with it. Actually, first thing I need to do, and I'm sorry guys, I should have told you this, is if you do cut these out like I'm doing, do a light sanding real quick if you've made like angled cuts that you didn't want to, just to help give them a little bit more of a general, the shape that you want. Just sand down those, like the tips here and that. Now where is, there's one, two, there's one, two. Okay, there we are. Sorry. And just do a light sanding and make sure they're where you want them, you know, at the point you want them to be. So all I'm going to do is I'm lightly, well, not lightly, I'm putting a little pressure here. All I'm doing is I'm putting some CA on there. I don't want to go crazy. I don't want to have it dripping all over the place, that's for sure. And then, just like I did before, now I am putting this down, and as you can see, I'm using my tweezers to help get that pressure, but now I have that set down, which is very, very cool. And then I'll kind of come up here and look and see if I need to do a little adjustment to make sure it's all in where it needs to be. Then again, now the interesting part is, okay, well now I need to do that. So I got to kind of figure out where I want to do it, and okay, so I'm going to go there, and these are not all going to get done in one very easy sweep, because I want to get things dry before I before I do the next step. So as my scissors just did, jammed open hard. Okay, so now I've got that one set, and that's fine. Now I'm going to let that cure for a second, and I'm going to come over and do this side. So, okay, I got those. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't talk to myself. So again, all I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piece that I'm happy with, and I am going to, like I said, again, just get some CA down so I make sure it gets down good, and now twist, and again I'll just eyeball and line up how I want, just like that, and I'll let that sit there, and I'll do the same thing. I'll bring this and go from there and see how well I like it. Might have to take a little off, just a little bit, and go from there. So sorry about that, guys. And you can, you can put it on, and then if you need to adjust it, you can do that too. Sometimes that makes it easier, because if you're trying to you can frustrate yourself just trying to get the darn thing down, and then it's just like So again, just like that, and now I can bring that part to stick, and I'll just push that down just a bit, and there we go. So now for the next part, that's set up enough, it can dry. Now I will do the same thing. I will come over and do that, and that's pretty simple, except to get the big air balls in CA, right? Okay, and just like so. I got to make sure I'm not doing actual true square. I'm just eyeballing to make sure it's somewhat, and then basically I'll have to do the top, but basically all that's left is I am going to do this, and I'll put that down on in there, and then I'll make the lid after everything is good and dry. Dang. And just a little bit of pressure, and there we go. We got one really weird looking light box, and what that's going to help me do is then I'm going to be able to sand that down and go from there. So I'm going to finish building this one, and come back. We'll take a look and see how our helm and ops deck our stations are going. So I will be back. Alright, finally got it in there. I mean, geez, you saw that was a frustration. So now I am slowly pulling these parts together. And as you can see, sometimes you gotta, when you run lines, sometimes it doesn't always want to come out at the same time. So now I can set this and get this set. There we go. Check that out. I mean, I'm not going to get it all the way set up yet. Maybe I can. I don't know. We'll see. But yay, look at that. Might have to. This thing is being stubborn. Look at that darn thing. Yeah, maybe I will go ahead and I can sand it later. It's still got enough area. So let me go ahead and get that squared away. And let's come back and see what else is going to go on. Alright, now the next fun part. Getting it glued in. And I'll use super glue again. So basically, I'm just going to set it right there. Straight like it is for right now. I'll maybe get a little bit more of a hit on it. And I will come in and put the hot glue, if it will still keep coming. Come on. Okay, I gotta get another one in there. So what I want to do is try to keep it as straight right now as I can and let that get really good and cool down for a second so I can lay the wiring. And then the great thing is, as I start putting more things in, I'm going to hide all the wiring in the flooring. So I'll go in and do, I'll drill a little hole in here so I can run this wiring and all the other wiring, and then back here. And that's my goal, is to run it all there. So now I said I was going to have it bent down. So I'm going to very carefully and very gently get down in here and get it pushed down. Now, when I do something like this, I definitely am going to make sure I got enough security on it. And like I said, I don't use any CA at this point with the wiring or anything. I just go with hot glue. And as you can see, sometimes it just doesn't want to play nice. So, I know it. Okay. I'll just do this. Get some more hot glue. And sometimes it works easier further out, first point, because there's a lot of bend in there. And I just go in and I make sure I push it down, as you can see. And then the last point that I'm going to glue for now is right there. That way I still have room to play and make things work, and I can test things and run different little things, and because you see how that's going to be able to go, because I'll be able to fit all the wiring in and all that. So got you just trying to see something. Let me think about it for a second. But as you can see, so also at this point, I will get my handy dandy black tulip slick and make sure I light block the bulb so it's just focusing all its light up into where I need it to be. And come back here. Okay. Yay! So that's down. And then, like I said, you can see I'm just going to be able to run the wiring through. But I'm trying to think of something else I want to try to do before I close it out. I mean, I love having all this here, but I want to be able to power it on. You know that, right, guys? Alright, give me a few minutes and let me see how I'm going to get this to work before the end of the show today. Alright, well, this is where I'm going to leave it. I told you I had a surprise for the end of the show. I went and temporarily wired up the helm and all that, so you could see with the main viewer and all that. Put the captain's chair on, still got to work on that, but not too shabby. I'm very happy. So, helm, operations or tactical, everything's lighted, everything's ready to go for now for the next fun stuff. Got these guys painted and taken care of, and I just want to turn the main view screen back on. So, yay, not too shabby. Not too shabby. Well, You guys have a safe, awesome, and fun weekend. Have a safe, awesome, and fun work week next week. And I will see you guys back here on the bench.